Welcome to another PlayStation Conversation. I'm Greg Miller, and this is the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Yeah.
Colin, I'm excited for The Last of Us, but look at this. There's another Uncharted game coming from Naughty Dog.
No, it's not.
No. But there is another Uncharted game coming.
Yep.
Tell me all about Uncharted Fight for Fortune.
Well, Greg, Uncharted Fight for Fortune is apparently a casino card game.
Wow, that
for
makes
PlayStation Vita.
Oof.
And it's not developed in-house by Naughty Dog or Sony Bend, who of course made the very good Vita iteration.
Uncharted Golden Abyss?
Yep. But it's made instead by a developer called One Loop Games.
One Loop Games. What does One Loop Games work on for?
Apparently, according to their website, they worked on God of War Betrayal, which is the mobile version of God of War that no one really ever played, and Ratchet & Clank Going Commando.
Okay.
They helped with that. And it says that they also worked on games like Full Spectrum Warrior and The Saboteur.
Okay, so they get around, they help, but now they're out doing their own thing, Uncharted Fight for Fortune. All we know is that it's a casino card game for the Vita, but tell me a little bit about how the story broke.
Well, that's the interesting part is that, we often find about games before Sony or other companies intend on telling us about them. And this leak comes from the Australian Classifications Board. Okay. So it's like the ESRB in Australia, and they rated the game. They ended up rating it, G, which is, I think, the equivalent of E for everyone in the United States. And what's interesting about this is GameSpot picked up the story. Our peers over at GameSpot, and Shuhei Yoshida.
You mean this man?
That's the man right there, Shuhei Yoshida. He retweeted their story indicating that the game was in fact real, because why would he do that?
Exactly, well, you're going to retweet a lie. Shuhei Yoshida don't roll that way.
But what's also interesting, before we even knew that it was a casino card game, because that comes from a different place, that information, is if you just looked at the individual ratings for the game, it came off as very uncharted, as it were, right? Because you have like themes and language and nudity and sex. Well, Uncharted's not really known for nudity and sex, but that's nowhere to be found. But Nathan Drake kills thousands of people in the Uncharted
Hundreds
trilogy.
Of thousands.
And but it says violence is very mild impact. So something wasn't right about this. The developer's not in-house. And it doesn't seem like a real Uncharted.
See, this was the big thing that spoke to me. This news tip came in through Twitter. Thank you so much. Follow us at GameOverGreg. No taxation. Send us news tips. A reader sent it to me. I read through it, and when I noticed it wasn't Naughty Dog and it wasn't Sony Bend Studios, I was like, this isn't a real Uncharted game. This is going to be like Eye of Indria, those motion comics that run the PSN.
Right. I mean, the assumption is that we know Naughty Dog's working on The Last of Us, and they have two teams now. So you assume Uncharted 4 is also being worked on. We don't know that for sure, and you also assume because Uncharted Golden Abyss is one of the best games on PlayStation Vita that Bend is working on another.
You hope so.
Although I kind of hope they're working on Siphon Filter, but that goes without saying.
Man, really, keep Logan.
But then we got more information this morning
from
Brazil. So the Brazilian ratings board, which is the same place I believe that leaked the new PlayStation 3 model long before it came out. So this is a good place to go for the leaks.
Brazil. Also, if you ever find a Brazilian steakhouse, you should go there. You turn the card over, you keep getting meat.
I don't know. And this told us that. See, the Australian one said that it was on multi-platform. I don't know what that meant, but then this says that it's a PlayStation Vita game.
Okay. So do you think there's any chance of crossplay, that I'll be able to take this card game back and forth on PS3?
I think it's possible. I mean, they seem to be all about it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it seems like because it's a casino card game, it could be like a touch game and all of those kinds of things too. So that's basically all we know. We have no other information. We have reached out to Sony for clarification. Comments.
They won't give it to us though.
They probably won't say anything until they're ready. The game's probably, if it's being rated, the game actually might be ready to go soon.
Yeah.
But we don't know yet.
As usual, every time there's some kind of PlayStation news, we'll have it on PlayStation Conversation, but more importantly, IGN.com.